Some of us are addicted to external validation without even realizing it. For some of us, it may look like needing a swipe up on a story or a like on an Instagram post. And we crave this because it tells us that we're good enough. We crave this because it tells us that what we did is good. And we feel more satisfied in what we have done, in what we have posted, because of what other people have to say, not because we necessarily did it. But for some of us, it shows up as needing approval on the decisions that we make or even the steps that we have taken in our life. And we crave this because we want to feel accepted by the choices that we have made. But like any other drug, it fades away and then we crave it even more. So the next day, what do? You post more, you do more because you even need more validation to get you satisfied this time around. The following day, you tell people your plans, you announce the things that you're going to do. You might not necessarily even do them, but just hearing that well done or congratulations is what satisfies you. And as this cycle continues, you start to live for other people. You start to do things because of what other people have to say. You start to perform instead of actually living your life in a way that pleases you. You do things for that minor doses of validation, removing parts of yourself just to fit someone else's palette. And if this continues, what you notice is that it's like you're living in a prison of yourself because your brain wants to do something else, your body wants to do something else, but you choose to do what you know other people would validate you for. And you constantly worry about how you're being perceived. You constantly worry about how you want to express yourself just because you're not free. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about the dangers of relying on external validation, how to detach from this external validation, and how to validate yourself. Hi everyone, welcome back to Inspired Up Podcast, and it's me, your host, Princess. Validation is when you need other people's approval to feel satisfied in the choices that you have made. Now, what this does to you is that over time, you become a people pleaser because you need that positive reinforcement of someone else saying congratulations. So when anyone demands anything from you, just because you're seeking external validation so much, you're going to bend backwards just to get it done because you need that praise. And the more you chase this kind of validation, the more you lose touch with yourself, because it's not about I need to do something good. It's now about I need someone to see me doing something good and for them to say I did something good. And the crazy thing we don't know is that we crave this validation because we cannot give it to ourselves. If you can tell yourself you did a good job and you're happy with that and you're satisfied with that, you don't necessarily need someone else telling you that you did a good job because you already know. So the validation we seek from others is the self-love that we don't want to give to ourselves, because it's not that we can't give it to ourselves. You can, you just don't want to because it's hard, it's slow, it's painful building that self-love, building that self-trust. So it's better for us to seek it elsewhere. And seeking validation always makes you respond so bad to criticism because you've put so much value on other people's words. When anyone comes to tell you, you know what, this thing that you did isn't that good or isn't that great, you should have done this, even though you were fully satisfied with yourself, you would still respond so poorly. And even though they meant good, instead of you to take constructive criticism and do better on it, you're going to think the whole world has ended. You're going to think that you're not good enough. You're going to think that you're worthless. You're going to question everything instead of you to just take the criticism and do better next time. And what's really dangerous is that your mood now becomes dependent on how another person feels about you. If they feel like you're good enough, you then feel good enough. If they don't feel like you're good enough, then you don't feel like you're good enough. And why is that? Why would we put our feelings and our emotions on what another person feels at that moment? And let me not be a hypocrite. Validation is good. The problem is relying on external validation. It's good if I hear someone say they enjoyed my podcast. It's good if I hear someone say they like what I said. But what's wrong is feeling like I didn't do good enough until I hear someone say it. Because the same way you could think, yeah, I want someone to say something good about me. If that same person says something bad about you, your whole day is ruined. And we don't want that. We don't want someone else's words dictating how we feel about ourselves. Because external validation is very fragile. Most people don't even know what they want, what they like. So why would you rely on them for knowing what you want and what you like? And really, something temporary as external validation can never truly satisfy you. What you need is something much more sustainable, which is self-validation. The thing about external validation, the more you get it, the more you need it. So how can we finally detach from external validation? The first way to detach from external validation is to recognize when you're performing. The things that you're doing, the choices that you're making, is it because you want to do them? Or is it because you know this is what this person would want me to do? Or this is what is acceptable? Or this is what I would get more praise for? If I say this, they would like me. If I do this, they would like me. Are you performing? Is this a show? Remind yourself that your value doesn't increase because someone else gave you praises. If you're a beautiful person, you're a beautiful person regardless if the next person compliments you or not. If you're a hard worker, if you're a creative person, it doesn't matter who compliments you or not. You know you're creative, you know you're good. And the next one is to not fight disapproval. If someone doesn't feel you're good enough, if someone doesn't feel you're up to par, let it go, leave it. Sit with that disapproval. You can journal about how it made you feel. Just don't fight it. You know, when we always want to clear our name or we always want to fight back with words, you don't always have to. Let them think what they want to think about you. As long as you know that you're better than that, and as long as you know that that is not you, you don't have to put on a show trying to explain to them how that isn't you or how you're better than that. Some of us just need to become less bothered by what other people have to say, because trust me, people always have what to say about other people's lives, but rarely about themselves. So we should all aim to seeing external validation as extra on top of what you have already built for yourself, not as a necessity, not as the foundation of how you feel about yourself. So always think, do I approve it? If yes, that should be the end of the story. If someone else approves of it, fine. But if they don't, also fine. An external validation might come from us wanting to feel loved and accepted by other people. It's completely normal to want to feel that way. At the end of the day, we are humans and we crave this connection, but we just need something much more sustainable. You know, tell yourself, I love myself too much to rely on something that isn't sustainable. What we deserve, what is even bigger and better than external validation, is self-love and self-acceptance. When you accept yourself and when you love yourself, you don't need anyone to come and tell you, you know what, I love you, you know what, I accept you, you're good the way you are, creative, you have so much potential, you're doing good things in your life. Why wait to hear these things from other people when you can tell it to yourself? You know what, I would even tell you now, but it's not going to do any good until you learn how to tell it to yourself. You can validate yourself by always saying encouraging words to yourself. Whatever you want to hear from someone else, tell it to yourself today, tell it to yourself right now. Stop outsourcing your self-worth. And what I mean by this is depending on others to approve of you. What this does is you're giving other people the power for how you feel about yourself, and this weakens the self-trust that you're supposed to build. If you notice that you always need reassurance when making a decision, or you always need approval before putting something out, that might be you depending on external validation. If you notice that you're only proud of doing something when you've told someone about it or when someone saw you do it, this might be external validation. And it may sound sad, but being self-aware is truly the first step. When we are always used to hearing what other people say and never listening to our inner voice, when you never spend time alone, when you never spend time in your own head, you're always filled with distractions. Over time, you only notice what other people have to say and you start to believe what other people have to say. You never check in with yourself. You never listen to that voice to know what you even want, to know what you even like. And the best way to overcome this is by doing some reflection. Figure out what your values are, figure out what you enjoy doing, and let this be your life compass. Don't wait for someone to tell you you did good today. Tell yourself that you did good today. If you value hard work, it doesn't matter if someone else saw you working hard. What should matter is that you worked hard, you were there when you were working hard, and you feel good about yourself. And try to be emotionally independent. When you're all up in your feels, all up in your emotions, instead of picking your phone to call up your best friend or someone really close to you, you can just sit with those thoughts and validate yourself. You don't need someone to tell you it's okay to feel this way. You don't need someone to comfort you when you can comfort yourself. Because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you call someone telling them this is what happened to me, this is what they did, it's so unfair of them, but they don't even validate you in the way that you wanted. They don't support you, they support the other person instead. And that could be so invalidating at that point, because it's like, how dare you not feed into my delusions right now. So you can be there for yourself, not waiting for another person. I would never stop recommending journaling because I'm not even as consistent as I want to be, but it has helped me so much, especially in the aspect of my emotions. Because when I'm feeling sad or when I'm feeling down, I always tend to call someone, but now I know that it's better that I validate myself, because that makes me more secure in who I am and in the things that I feel. This even makes me more aware of my thought patterns and makes me more aware of how I react to things, because at the end of the day, no one knows you like you. No one has lived your exact life. No one knows why you're reacting to things in a certain way. You may react to something so poorly because of trauma that you faced in the past. Someone who you're venting to on the phone may not fully understand that, and they may not validate in the way that you need, even though they are trying their best. So while it's good to speak to someone about your emotions, no one can fully relate to you the way you will relate to yourself. And I've been doing something that I didn't even realize, and it was swapping the need to feel validated with something else that will push you further in life. And the first example is definitely, instead of getting validation from getting so many likes and getting so many comments and people supporting you on social media, swap that with being consistent with posting. Because get Getting likes, getting followers, getting comments is something that you really can't control. But what we know that for sure can happen is how consistent and how committed you are. So instead of getting satisfied from likes, you can get satisfied from your consistency. So it should now be, did I show up for myself instead of how many likes did I get? The second one is swap the need of getting approval on your decisions, something such as making a bold decision. Instead of thinking to yourself, would they approve of this decision that I'm making? Tell yourself that I'm doing something bold today. I'm making a tough decision. I don't know how it will look on the other side, but I'm satisfied. I'm happy with myself that I can take this bold step. Because if you only take steps other people approve of, you won't take a lot of steps. You may actually be stagnant, because growth comes from being brave and accepting uncertainty. And other people may not understand that at first, but as long as you see the vision, that should be good enough. And the next one, swap the need for people pleasing to having strong boundaries. Instead of asking yourself, would they like me if I say no? Ask yourself, does this honor my time? Does this honor my energy? This is what I need right now. And if that's not what you need right now, you need to say no. Don't keep saying yes to the things that you know you shouldn't say yes to. The thing is that true growth isn't really a group activity, because it looks different for every single person. The people around you may not fully understand this new version of you until you become it. If you're waiting for approval on a decision that you want to make, other people can't really approve of something they are so scared of themselves, and they can't really approve of something when they haven't even been on that path yet. So you know your vision, you know where you're headed to. You don't need to wait for other people to approve of you first before you take it. You don't need to say, I would only do this if I get support from other people. And really, not everyone is meant to come with you. If people are not excited about where you're going, you just have to leave them behind. And this is not harsh, this is just the truth. Having a group of people behind you supporting you is awesome, but you don't necessarily need that to move forward in life. The only thing that you need is belief and trust in yourself. When you get convicted in something, that should be enough. You should be able to support yourself and believe in yourself. It doesn't even matter how many people support you. If you don't support yourself, you're not going to be able to do it. Stop waiting for people to clap for you. Stop waiting for people to cheer you on. You can clap for yourself, you can cheer yourself on, and then other people would follow. It's normal to want to be validated, don't get me wrong. It's normal to want to get approval from people that we really cherish and people that we respect, but it's never normal to rely on it. You owe it to yourself to validate yourself, to get convicted in yourself, to trust yourself, to believe in yourself. You owe all these things to yourself. Don't outsource it to other people. So this is the end of this episode. If you reach the end, please validate me by leaving a comment or leaving a like, and I'll see you in my next week's episode.